A day of running battles between security officers and protesters. We have all the details from Mombasa to Migori and of course Nairobi to Nakuru. And of course we'll be taking you to the corridors of justice and deliver to you the ruling from the High Court. This is the Prime Edition with me, O'Brien Kimani. It's great to have you tonight. But before we get to the news, let's first of all have a look at the highlights first. Soldiers in the street. Kenya Defence Forces soldiers patrol the streets of Nairobi as the High Court terms the deployment as within the law. Protest in Nairobi and other counties despite President Ruto's declining to sign into law the controversial Finance Bill 2024. And returned to the sender. The National Assembly Speaker receives President Ruto's memorandum on the rejected Finance Bill 2024, notifies MPs on the same. We're coming to you live from our global headquarters here in Nairobi. My name is O'Brien Kimani and our sign language interpreter is Brian Moraru. Kenya Defence Forces soldiers patrolled the streets of Nairobi Thursday in the wake of planned anti-government protest, with the protesters threatening to march to State House. The military might was on display as they snaked their way through the Central Business District and main roads leading in and out of the Central Business District in their armoured vehicles and full military gear. The military officers' base was set up at Nyayo National Stadium. Abdul Aziz Hashim followed them during the patrol and brings us the details.
Thursday dawned amid mixed feelings following the move by the National Assembly to approve the deployment of military officers to assist the police in keeping the peace in the wake of the planned anti-government protests. This was the scenario at 10 a.m. along Thika Superhighway. The roads remained largely deserted, with few cars getting into the Central Business District. It was a stark contrast to the usual hustle and bustle associated with the capital on a Thursday morning. The departure from the norm attributed to a planned protest. Unlike the protest witnessed in the last 1 week on Thursday, there were different players in town. The Kenya Defence Forces soldiers had left the barracks to secure the country. Their operating base at the Nyayo National Stadium. It is from here that they moved out to support the police in quelling any incidences of lawlessness. From Langata Road, University Way, Waiyaki Way, to Bunyala Road, the uniformed officers patrolled in their armoured tanks adorned with full combat gear. And when the military convoy snaked into the Nairobi Central Business District along Moi Avenue, where police had fired tear gas canisters to disperse protesters. It was to an uncharacteristic welcome from the protesters, who temporarily halted the demonstrations to cheer the soldiers, some even using the moment to take photos of the tankers. But they were quickly brought back to reality when the police lobbed tear gas canisters to disperse the crowd. The military convoy will then make its way to the gates of the Nairobi prison remand area, where there was a heavy police presence. They will then continue their patrol on Mombasa Road before heading back to base. After a day-long operation by the Kenya Defence Forces within the Central Business District and its environs, these gallant soldiers are waiting for more instructions with their aim to work closely with the National Police Service in maintaining law and order here in the capital. Abdiaziz Hashim from Nyayo Stadium, Prime Edition.
Well, police fired in the air and lobbed tear gas canisters to disperse pockets of demonstrators protesting in downtown Nairobi. This is despite President William Ruto declining to assent to the contentious Finance Bill 2024 Wednesday and referring the bill for reconsideration by the National Assembly. Several people, including journalists, were caught up in the melee as heavy security presence was maintained in Nairobi CBD, with the military teaming up with the police to maintain law and order.
Chaotic scenes marred Nairobi City Thursday afternoon. Anti-riot police were deployed to quell protests, with demonstrators engaging police in a cat-and-mouse game for the better part of the day. Moi Avenue and Tomboya streets were turned into a battlefield as security officers fired rubber bullets in the air and tear gas to disperse protesters who were gathering momentum. Scores of protesters were arrested after some threw stones at the police. Many shops remained closed as cautious traders kept off the city centre, despite the presence of the KDF soldiers who were patrolling the streets. Despite the withdrawal of the controversial Finance Bill 2024, youth protests continued in various parts of the country, with a push to the government to address a raft of other emerging issues. Some city dwellers who asked not to be filmed, however, claim the ongoing protests have been infiltrated by criminal elements who are taking advantage of the situation to loot public property. Joseph Ohungu, reporting for Prime Edition.
And still staying with the protest, and all roads leading to State House remained cordoned off for members of the public Thursday, with unprecedented security following threats by demonstrators to occupy the seat of power regarded the residence of the president. Police erected roadblocks at the entrance and exit from State House, redirecting traffic to alternative routes, leaving nothing to chance.
At the break of dawn, police erected roadblocks along roads leading to State House, Nairobi, as part of security measures to ensure no breach by protesters to access the country's seat of power. Processional way, normally used by the head of state when exiting State House for official functions, was blocked at the junction of Nyerere Road and Serena Hotel. The road, normally busy on a working day, was sealed off at its entrance from Kenyatta Avenue, with police officers in riot gear remaining alert. At its exit around Mamlaka Chapel, another road used to access State House, police erected another roadblock. The AIC Milimani Road that can also be used to access State House Gate C, the main entrance used by the President and VIPs, was also sealed at its entrance from Kenyatta Avenue. The Kilimani Road leading to Gate D of State House was also blocked by police at Quivers Kilimani. There was yet another roadblock at the exit of Dennis Pritt Road to Yaya Centre, with inbound traffic being redirected. The last roadblock was at Arboretum Road at its exit to Kileleshwa, with police allowing no vehicle to use the road. The demonstrators keeping off the State House area and instead choosing to engage police in downtown Nairobi. John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
From the streets of State House to the corridors of justice, where the High Court has upheld the deployment of the Kenya Defence Forces to assist the police in quelling the ongoing protest. Justice Lawrence Mogambi, in his ruling, said that military engagement is within the law and necessary to help maintain order and protect key infrastructure. However, the judge said the court retains powers to receive and deal with complaints or violations as long as military intervention lasts. LSK had filed a petition following a gazetted notice that led to the deployment of KDF to assist police to contain ongoing protests in various parts of the country. Ruth Wambui is working on that story, and once it is done, we shall bring it to you. Let's now move on to City Mortuary, where families of those who lost their lives following the anti-finance bill demonstrations are appealing for financial support to lay their loved ones to rest. They also want the government to hasten the post-mortem exercise to enable them accord their departed kings a timely and decent send-off. This comes as blood donations drive kicks off across the country, with almost people who turned up saying they are doing it in solidarity with their finance bill demonstration victims.
At the City Mortuary in Nairobi County, families are still trying to come to terms with the demise of their loved ones, lives cut short at height of anti-finance bill demonstrations Tuesday. The family of 19-year-old Ibrahim Kamau is awaiting a post-mortem so that they can inter their loved one before the end of the day in accordance with the Muslim religion.
Kwa sababu tumekuwa hapa jana na pia leo tumekuja hapa na tungeomba tu sana sababu sisi ni Waislamu tunaomba tupewe tuaende ajipumzikie.
However, other families will have to wait a bit longer. As the families continue to identify the bodies of their loved ones, they are calling on the government to help them meet the financial obligations occasioned by the sudden demise of their loved ones.
Ni kijana yangu. Mimi nisomesha mpaka form 4 nikamtafutia kazi. Kufanya kazi mwezi mmoja akakuja maandamano. Sasa mimi naomba hiyo msimamie hiyo juu gharama sina pesa, mimi ni hasura.
Kenyans have been mobilizing funds through social media to foot hospital and funeral bills for the affected.
What it's for social psychological support, what it is for, the burial, costs, whatever it needs to be done, that money should do.
We are hoping that, Kenyans venye wamechanga, we should be able to stand with the family because he seems sibao peke yao.
At the Kenyatta National Hospital, those injured continue to receive medical attention. Since Tuesday, the hospital has received 169 patients, with 91 already treated and discharged. At the facility, a blood donation drive is also ongoing. The drive has attracted a huge number of Gen Zs who say they are donating in solidarity with those injured during the demonstrations.
I've already donated my blood, and I'm very sure my blood is going to help the people who had been injured during the protest. The reason as to why I came to donate is because I want to save the life of people.
Last time I donated blood was when I was in high school. It's something which has occurred to me that I should do something to help those who have demonstrated and they have gotten injured.
And I'm very sorry for anyone who lost a family member. Our condolences are with you. I would urge anyone and everyone who can to come and donate blood here.
The drive that is also ongoing in other parts of the country will run until Sunday. So far, 2,000 pints of blood have been collected since Monday countrywide. The young men and women who have turned up to donate their blood are optimistic that this gesture will go a long way in saving lives, not only today but in the coming days. Nancy Okware reporting for Prime Edition from the Kenyatta National Hospital, Nairobi.
Businesses remained closed in many parts of the country as thousands of protesters played cat and mouse games with security officers. Several businesses were vandalized in the Nairobi, Kisumu and Kisii counties, with police officers nabbing tens of looters. This is the second time this week traders are counting losses due to the nationwide protest called to oppose the contentious Finance Bill 2024. Alan Aoko has the update.
9 a.m. Thursday morning, a sense of normalcy returned to one of Nairobi's busiest bus terminals. Here at the famous Kencom and Archive stage, most buses to various routes around the city were busy picking up and dropping passengers en route to various city suburbs. During the morning hours, an easy calm was witnessed in Nairobi Central Business District, with a section of residents saying the prevailing conditions were not enough to deter them from coming into the city.
After the president withdrew the finance bill, tukaona tu tuendelee na biashara sasa.
Other traders decried the mounting loss of business in the past few days, with small business owners calling for calm.
Siku ya leo especially tumeweza kupoteza au tumeweza biashara mingi sana zimeweza kufungwa. kwa sababu ya hofu au ya kuokopa kukuja au wanabiashara kuja kufungua maduka sawa kwa ile kitu au ile vitendo ambayo iliendelea on last week Tuesday.
However, at 1 p.m, running battles and cloudy streets due to tear gas became the order of the day, as police repelled several sporadic protesters. However, by around 6 p.m, police and army officers managed to restore order in Nairobi CBD, with public transport vehicles resuming service while few businesses reopened while remaining cautious. Many traders are now hoping that normalcy will be restored in the coming days for economic activities to resume. Alanaoko, Prime Edition.
And we do hope that peace will finally prevail so that the economy can go back to business. Two police officers are among 11 people injured during Thursday's protest that rocked Migori County. 9 of the injured are nursing gunshot wounds, with 2 in critical condition. Here's a roundup of Thursday's protest across various counties.
Business and transport operations were disrupted in several parts of Migori town as demonstrators engaged police in running battles. Those injured during the melee sought medical attention at Migori County Referral Hospital.
Currently, the team is able to handle and the healthcare workers on the ground to support those victims who have come to the facility. The 2 with gunshot injuries are critical, so we are going to take them to theatre and we can update you after they're out. 11
people are admitted at the health facility, 2 in critical condition. 2 police officers were among the injured. In Bungoma, the situation was calm, albeit daunting, due to the heavy presence of the police. However, a section of youth is skeptical that the government will not keep its word on the controversial Finance Bill 2024.
Irudishwe bunge, wale watu ambao walipitisha waikatae wote. Wakishaikataa ndio tutakuwa na imani imeondolewa.
Embu town was calm, unlike Tuesday, where violent protests were witnessed. Heavily armed police personnel were posted outside the county governor's office, which was vandalized and torched on Tuesday. In Muranga, residents of Kenol strongly lauded the Gen Zs for leading the demonstrations.
Mimi nawaomba wakubwa nyinyi, muwe na hekima na maarifa, kwa sababu nyinyi ndio mmeshikilia hii Kenya yetu.
However, in Makueni, demonstrators were playing hide and seek with the police, chanting anti-government slogans for the better part of Thursday.
Saa hii nimeadhiriwa kwa sababu sijafungua biashara, niko na watoto wako shule, wengine wanasoma, na wale wengine ambaye mambo yale ambayo ninafanya sasa yamesimama.
In the neighboring Machakos County, police lobbed tear gas at protesters who were in a destructive spree at the Machakos Town Central Business District. The same script replicated in Nakuru town as youths played hide and seek with the police.
Si watu wamefunga, wametoroka, wameenda nyumbani. Sasa hata unashindwa, kwanza leo hatujafanya biashara mzuri. Sijui tutakula nini jioni, sababu watu wote wametoroka.
Laikipia County witnessed calmness on Thursday and with businesses operating as usual. A spot check in Nanyuki town revealed that businesses remained open with no sign of chaos witnessed on Tuesday by anti-finance bill protesters. Homa Bay town remained a no-go zone for the better part of Thursday after demonstrators, mainly youths, engaged the police in running battles. Opicho Chemtai for Prime Edition.
It's almost coming to 9:30 here in Nairobi. We're taking our first break on Primetime Edition. We'll be back with more stories. Stay right here.
The more
most at-bait grand finale is finally here. Kenya Police will take on KCBFC this Saturday, the 29th from 2 p.m. for a chance to represent Kenya in the CAF Confederation Cup. The game will be preceded by third-place playoff between AFC Leopards and Kariobangi Sharks at 11 a.m. Both matches will be played at the Ulinzi Sports Complex and televised live on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Chunga amani ndugu yangu, bila ghasia hakuna hofu. Tujenge urafiki na upendo, amani ni nguo ya roho. Mikono yetu iko tayari, kushikana tuje pamoja. Tupande mlima wa mazungumzo, tufikie kilele cha suluhisho. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, maneno yetu ni madawa. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, amani isambae kama maua. Heshima ni mti mkubwa unaotoa kivuli cha neema. Tusikilize na kuelewa, kila sauti ina umuhimu wake. Tutenge muda na uvumilivu, tuwe marafiki sio maadui. Kama mbegu zinavyota, mazungumzo yatazaa matunda. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, maneno yetu ni madawa. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, amani isambae kama maua. Kushikana tuje pamoja, tupande mlima wa mazungumzo, tufikie kilele cha suluhisho. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, maneno yetu ni madawa. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, amani isambae kama maua.
Nilianza kuendesha boda miaka michache iliyopita ili kuhudumia familia yangu. Sio kazi rahisi, lakini inaweka chakula mezani. Wakati huo nilifikiria siwezi kushindwa. Ningeendesha boda kwa kasi, kukwepa na kuvuka barabara ovyo ovyo. Ningefanya chochote ili kufika napokwenda haraka. Lakini siku moja nilikuwa hospitalini kwa miezi 3. Kosa moja karibu liondoe kila kitu. Mwaka moja baada ya kutoka hospitalini, nilihudhuria mafunzo ya jinsi ya kuendesha boda kwa usalama. Boda ni life, lakini life si kitu bila usalama. Zingatia kanuni za trafiki. Hakikisha unavaa helmet na reflector jacket wakati wote.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
As a premier public university in Kenya and the region, JKUAT is a renowned powerhouse for pioneering research outputs and groundbreaking innovations. Our faculty and students work tirelessly to push the boundaries of knowledge to come up with sustainable and innovative solutions that address the most pressing challenges of our time. From advanced agricultural practices to cutting-edge technological advances and entrepreneurship, JKUAT is a hub of transformative ideas and practical solutions. Our commitment to internationalization is a cornerstone of our mission. By fostering global partnerships and facilitating international exchanges, we ensure our students and faculty are exposed to diverse perspectives and global best practices. This enriches their academic experience and prepares them to thrive in an interconnected world.
kikohozi cha muda wowote, kutokwa na jasho kwa wingi usiku, uchungu kwenye kifua, afya kudhoofika, tafuta matibabu. Labda ni TB ni ugonjwa wa kweli, ukipimwa matibabu yapo utapona. Daktari kushauri tumia dawa kwa nidhamu, elimu tupashane tupige vita TB. Mwa TB waishi poa. TB waishi poa.
Asanteni sana kwa kuwezesha Lotomoto kuwafikia wengi wasiojiweza kupitia star 570#. Hapo umewafuta wengi machozi, umewaelimisha, umewapa makao, umewapa lishe na umewapa matibabu kwa namna tofauti. Asanteni.
Asanteni. Asanteni sana.
Na kwako wewe mchezaji wa Lotomoto, unajipa fursa ya kujishindia Probox nayo. Na kama Probox haikufai na umejishindia, tunakupa taslim 750,000 Kenyan shillings na mshindi na mtangaza 30th of June. Na mwezi wa July 28th na mtangaza mshindi wa Demio nayo. Na kama utaki na umeshinda, wacha gari, chukua chapa 750,000 Kenyan shillings kwenye star 570#. Wewe si mshindi tu, wewe ni tegemeo kubwa. Tusaidie na tushinde!
Welcome back. You're watching the Prime Edition with me, O'Brien Kimani. We are live from Broadcasting House here in Nairobi. The High Court has upheld the deployment of the Kenya Defence Forces to assist the police in quelling the ongoing protest. Justice Lawrence Mugambi, in his ruling, said that military engagement is within the law and necessary to help maintain order and protect key infrastructure. However, the judge said the court retains powers to receive and deal with complaint or violations as long as military interventions. Last week, LSK had filed a petition following a Gazette notice that led to the deployment of KDF to assist police to contain ongoing protests in various parts of the country.
During the hearing of the case filed by the Law Society of Kenya, Justice Lawrence Mugambi posed a number of questions to the parties present as he sought to understand aspects of military operations as laws specific to defense forces. He asked the LSK to comment on instances when KDF may be deployed, to which the society cited Article 241 of the Constitution.
To defend the country against external aggression or external forces who may enter the territory and disturb us. So that is about the external aggression. 241(3)(b) says that they can assist and cooperate with other authorities. Authorities meaning it could be security organs or any other organ and department of the government in case of emergency or disaster. And that means they could be used in instances like airlifting, restoring critical infrastructure like bridges and roads, and even delivery of, aid.
Based on this, LSK told Justice Lawrence Mugambi there is no information from the state on whether the presence of the military in the capital city is meant to deal with an emergency or to deal with unrest or instability. According to LSK, the notice to deploy KDF was supposed to be issued within 24 hours after approval by Parliament. However, the approval, according to LSK, was sought when KDF had already been deployed, making the deployment procedure unconstitutional.
41(3)(c) says that they can be deployed to restore peace in any part of Kenya affected by arrest or instability only with the approval of the National Assembly. Now, the article does not tell us the instances of unrest or instability. So that is subject to interpretation, and the government just looks at the situation and determines, do we have an unrest or an instability that requires the intervention of the Kenya Defence Forces?
On its part, the state, in defending its move, said there's nothing illegal in the Gazette notice issued by the CS for Defense Hassan Duale. Until such a time when the government is satisfied that normalcy has returned, Kenyans have to make do with the new state of affairs. Ruth Wamboy for Prime Edition.
Away from the corridors of justice to the coastal city of Mombasa, where police in Mombasa engaged protesters in running battles, lobbying tear gas canisters to disperse crowds who had streamed into the central business district. This as human rights group in the coast warned that the demonstrations had been hijacked by goons who were out to cause violence and loot.
These were the scenes at the Mombasa Central Business District. Despite the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024 by the head of state Wednesday, protesters remained on the streets amid demands for compensation for those injured during the protests. The CBD had earlier in the day remained deserted as protesters converged in different parts of the town, closing major roads and burning tires on the roadside. At Mwembe Tayari, protesters engaged the police in running battles, prompting police to lobby tear gas canisters and fire in the air to keep them at bay. Some of the protesters who were seen throwing stones to the police officers were arrested. The human rights body warned the demonstrations had been hijacked by goons who were out to cause mayhem.
Kuna vijana inaaminika kuwa wanatumiwa na wanasiasa, wamekuwa wakiibia watu, wanapeleza sehemu za Mwembe Tayari, sehemu za Sabasaba, hata ukija Old Town hapa Mombasa. Vijana sasa wameingia wale maguns, sasa wanaibia watu. Sasa ambao wamehijack hii maandamano. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema kuwa bado kuna tension Mombasa, na tukiangalia leo watu wengi hawajajitokeza, maduka yamefungwa na watu wako na wasiwasi mwingi sana.
The roads leading to State House Mombasa were barricaded and manned by heavily armed police officers. At the same time, the Muslim for Human Rights group faulted police for allegedly using excessive force to disperse the crowd, vowing to take legal action.
Mombasa tuna confirm kama watetezi wa haki za kibinadamu ni watu 3 wameuliwa na polisi na vijana zaidi ya 50 wameumizwa sana. Hata tunapoongea Coast General vijana wamejaa, wengine wako na maraba bullet, hizo wapigwa rubber bullets, wengine wamevunjika miguu, wengine wamevunjika mikono, wengine wamevunjika mabega. Kwa hivyo ni polisi yote wameleta mambo haya.
And now from the coastal county of Mombasa to Kiambu County, where the National Council of Churches of Kenya has called on President William Ruto to fast track the process of constituting the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. Speaking in Limuru County, the clergy said the gesture would ease the process of recalling members of parliament who have gone contrary to will of the people. The council, led by NCCK General Secretary Canon Chris, urged the concerned stakeholders to facilitate the completion of the process to appoint IEBC commissioners. Similar calls reverberated in Kakamega, with the Friends Quaker Church now urging the government to listen to voice of the citizen.
To secure the electoral future of our nation, we urge His Excellency President William Ruto and concerned stakeholders to hear the cry of the people of Kenya and facilitate the completion of the process to appoint the IEBC commissioners. Kenyans in constituencies and wards that have been unable to hold by-elections are suffering injustices, and the boundaries review process is yet to be done. This process must be completed without further delay.
Tunaomba ya kwamba serikali kupitia kwa president wetu aweze kuwa na mazungumzo ya kindani na vijana na makanisa.
On now to Parliament, where the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has confirmed receiving and relaying to legislators President William Ruto's memorandum to the House rejecting the Finance Bill 2024 in its entirety. In a communication, Wetangula sought to set the record straight, stating the standing orders envisage a scenario where a memorandum could be received while the House was on recess, and provided for the matter to be dispensed with upon the resumption of the House. Kamche Menza with the details.
A day after President William Ruto declined to assent to the contentious Finance Bill 2024, during an address to the nation, he communicated his decision officially to the National Assembly. In a communication, the Speaker, Moses Wetangula, confirmed receiving and sharing the communication with legislators as per the standing orders. According to Wetangula, the President's memorandum expresses reservations on the bill, citing the public's rejection, and recommends the deletion of all clauses of the bill. He said he had communicated the decision to members of Parliament and had forwarded the 69-clause bill to Kimani Kuria-led Finance and Planning Committee for consideration before it is tabled in the House on resumption of the House. In dispelling fears the bill could become law if not dispensed with by Parliament within 14 days, Wetangula stated Standing Order number 43, paragraph 3, provided for a message received from the President at a time when the House is not in session is to be transmitted to every member and reported to the House on the day the House next sits. And with the House currently on recess, the bill will be discussed on resumption of the House in 3 weeks. The Finance Committee of the House has two options in debating the bill: to either agree or disagree with the memorandum. A simple majority or a voice vote will be taken if the House accepts the recommendation. However, should they choose to reject it, it will require a 2/3 majority, which translates to 233 MPs to overturn the memorandum. Kamche Menza for Prime Edition.
Our second break is underway. You're watching the Prime Edition live from Broadcasting House. We'll be back shortly.
Asanteni sana kwa kuwezesha Lotomoto kuwafikia wengi wasiojiweza kupitia star 570 hash. Hapo umewafuta wengi machozi, umewaelimisha, umewapa makao, umewapa lishe na umewapa matibabu kwa namna tofauti. Asanteni.
Asanteni. Asanteni sana.
Na kwako wewe mchezaji wa Lotomoto, unajipa fursa ya kujishindia Probox nayo. Na kama Probox haikufai na umejishindia, tunakupa taslim 750,000 Kenyan shillings na mshindi na mtangaza 30th of June. Na mwezi wa July 28th na mtangaza mshindi wa Demio nayo. Na kama utaki na umeshinda, wacha gari, chukua chapa 750,000 Kenyan shillings kwenye star 570 hash. Wewe si mshindi tu, wewe ni tegemeo kubwa. Tusaidie na tushinde.
Kikohozi cha muda wowote, kutokwa na jasho kwa wingi usiku, uchungu kwenye kifua, afya kudhoofika, tafuta matibabu.
Imagine being born in a family of parents who have no education, no formal job, no business. The animals they had have been taken away due to insecurity, so they are just left vulnerable. So by the time I was finishing Form 4, college life, I had to struggle to pay for my fees. Yes. Because already the parents have died. I've told you the story. I'll tell you the story of my parents.
Off to the county of Kakamega, where the family of a woman who was shot during the anti-finance bill protest on Tuesday in Kakamega County is calling for justice for their kin. They claim their kin, a vendor at Kakamega Market, was caught up in the melee during the protest and was not part of the protest. Speaking outside Kakamega County Referral Hospital mortuary, the family says their kin was leaving the market and heading home when she met her untimely tragic death. They now want the government to take action against the officer responsible for her death, condemning the act as unjust.
Nimesitikika sana. Moyo wangu umeumia sana. Niko na machungu ndani ya moyo wangu kwa ajili tu ya mtoto wangu Caroline, mtoto ambaye nilikuwa nimechifunia nikijua huyu mtoto ndio atanitetea kwa maisha yangu ninapoendelea kuseeka.
Nasitika sana. Sasa mimi na mtu wa chini, mbona sasa na mtoto wangu anapigwa risasi? Mtu wa chini kabisa, sichuwezi chochote.
Quite unfortunate there. The National Heroes Council will forge collaborations with the county government through the Council of Governors for stronger partnerships with a view to honor and recognize national heroes and heroines in their respective regions. Speaking in Elgeyo-Marakwet County during an occasion attended by local leaders and residents to present a certificate and medal to the family of the late marathon record holder Kevin Kiptum, the council said that the move will also inspire future generations to strive for greatness.
The National Heroes Council visited Elgeyo-Marakwet County to present a certificate and medal to the family of the late marathon record holder Kevin Kiptum.
Nasema tu asante kwa serikali na kwa Heroes Elders kwa kumkumbuka Kevin kama hero na bado tu atakuwa hero.
Sasa natakana kama serikali kama vijana wa kukimbia wapatiwe security.
The council also will ensure to bond up, partner with all other institutions who are also preaching peace. We have been speaking with the council that we make an MOU even with the cohesion, that we can also spearhead some of the issues of peace with the national cohesions of Kenya.
The Council Chief Executive Officers Charles Wambia and Chairman Jimmy Angweni also said they're working on collaborations with the Council of Governors to be able to honor and recognize heroes and heroines in different parts of the country.
And I think we have also visited the COG offices, and they know that the National Heroes Council is going to work with the counties.
But the government has given us some very good ideas that can promote the new generations into becoming athletes and becoming champions.
The council says they hope the move will inspire current and future generations to undertake acts of patriotism as well as preserve the heritage of the nation. Kelvin Kiptum's extraordinary talent and dedication in athletics was hailed, noting it brought immense pride to the nation.
We don't only intend to erect a monument there, we intend to put up a structure where probably some activities could be done, activities like peace building.
Elgeyo-Marakwet County Governor Wesley Rotich agreed to sign memorandum of understanding to champion for the establishment of a modern monument, naming of parks and roads after national heroes and heroines in the county.
We have accepted that as a county we will be the first ones to sign an MOU with the Heroes Council, and immediately thereafter we will actually embark on matters that touch on our county, especially on matter sports.
The annual Global Peace Leadership Conference in Nairobi ended today with a resounding call for youth inclusion in peace planning and leadership. The conference that brought together delegates from Africa and around the world, including former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, Kenyan philanthropist Manu Chandaria, religious leaders and peace activists, aims to develop strategies for global peace and security.
The three-day Global Peace Leadership Conference in Nairobi took place at a critical time
amid youth protest in the country demanding for inclusion and action on pressing socio-economic issues. Speakers at the conference emphasized the critical role that young people play in building and sustaining peace.
Young people can no longer be passive observers in the processes of the nation building. Instead, they must become active participants.
The conference also featured young leaders from conflict-affected regions who shared their experiences and proposed innovative solutions to peace building.
And we want a change. As the youth, we don't want to sit here. We will look for what's a change for tomorrow, that we need to take an action today.
Under the theme, One Family Under God, the clergy called for love among all humanity, without which there would be no meaningful peace to spur development.
And politicians should know this. It includes ensuring a minimum level of human well-being, avoiding misery and abject poverty that dehumanizes our people. If there's no love, there's no peace.
At the closing ceremony, Kenyan philanthropist Manu Chandaria received the Global Peace Award for his extraordinary leadership and commitment to building peace and changing young lives by building schools in conflict-ridden regions in Kenya. Mariambo reporting for the Prime Edition.
To the county of Nakuru, more than 100 suspects, including 15 minors, were arraigned in a Naivasha court charged with raiding and looting property worth over 100 million shillings during Tuesday's Anti-Finance Bill 2024 protest. The suspects, who also included 19 women, were charged with looting Naivas supermarkets, Naivasha MP's office and Epco Hotel, where they left a trail of destruction. This and more in our county news roundup.
The suspects were charged virtually before Naivasha Principal Magistrate Juliana Dengeri denied all charges before them and were released on a cash bond of 200,000 shillings and a surety of the same or cash bill of 100,000 shillings, failure to which they'll be remanded at Naivasha Remand Prison.
We managed to arrest about 130 persons, started burning the constituency office. And then after that one, now they went to the Naivasha. Another team went to Naivasha. The town is back to normalcy.
In Kiambu County, Kikuyu Council of Elders has welcomed President William Ruto's decision to drop the contentious 2024 finance bill, calling on him to recall the military in the ongoing countrywide demonstrations. These aspirants in the country have been cautioned not to allow their school-going children, currently on long-week midterm break, to participate in the riots and protests being witnessed in different parts of the country.
One, I want to say that on behalf of the parents, I want first of all to give my condolences, especially to those parents whose families suffered. Wanafunzi wako katika likizo ya half term. Na naomba wazazi, wanafunzi watoto wa shule wasikubaliwe na wazazi wao kutoka kwenda kuandamana.
Elsewhere in Nyeri County, the spouse of the Deputy President Pastor Dorcas Rigathi has called on widows and widowers to embrace income-generating projects availed to them by the county government of Nyeri.
Empowerment of widows, we can make independent, they can be able to make independent decisions and overcome these challenges.
Meanwhile, farmers affiliated with Mutira Farmers Cooperative Society in Kirinyaga County have rejected the current leadership over claims of embezzlement of funds, handing it over to the county government.
Tutapata uongozi mpya wa Mutira Farmers Cooperative Society. Zaidi ya hapo tumesema kuna wenye wanapea viongozi vitisho. Tumewaambia wakome. Na wanjua kwamba hiyo pressure group sisi ndio tulikuwa tumewapea kazi. Watusukumie hiyo maneno ndio tupate haki yetu kama wakulima.
And finally, residents of Turkana Estate in Kitengela, Kajiado County are in fear of cholera and other waterborne diseases outbreaks owing to the high volumes of raw sewage being discharged from the nearby rental houses into their neighborhood.
Hapa kuna vibanda za boga. Hiyo boga ndio tunakula. Alafu sewage inapita hapo. Hapo kuna pipe za maji. Sasa hiyo ikiliki kidogo, sewage ndio inaingia. Hiyo si ni kupatia watoto wetu uchafu?
Well, time now for business news, where the Central Bank of Kenya has approved an additional 7 digital credit providers, bringing the total number to 58. Among the approved digital credit providers is Asset Financier Mogo.
In a statement, CBK says it has received more than 550 applications since March 2022 and has worked closely with the applicants in reviewing their applications. CBK says the thorough scrutiny is to ensure adherence to the relevant laws and, importantly, that the interests of consumers are safeguarded. Mogo Kenya country manager Domas Minekis said the firm was thrilled to receive approval of its lending license to continue providing MSMEs with affordable financing to acquire assets and accelerate financial inclusion. Since starting operations in Kenya 5 years ago, Mogo has lent 20 billion shillings for boda boda and motor vehicle loans and provided affordable financial products to more than 120,000 Kenyans, all of whom are engaged in productive economic activities. The Central Bank Amendment Act of 2021 allows CBK to regulate non-deposit taking credit providers and has empowered the regulator to suspend any DCP that breaches data confidentiality by pursuing borrowers as well as high interest rates.
Let's now talk about the country's tourism sector. The Central Island National Park is a key attraction in Turkana County. The island, situated at Lake Turkana, is made up of 3 crater lakes, including the Crocodile Lake, Flamingo Lake and Tilapia Lake, which provide breeding grounds for the world's largest concentration of Nile crocodiles. Tonight on Magical Scenes, we highlight the beauty of home to one of the world's largest Nile crocodile population.
The Central Island National Park prides in 3 great lakes: Lake Flamingo, Lake Crocodiles, and Lake Tilapia, which were formed in 1974 from volcanic eruption at Lake Turkana. The Central Island has a record of 350 species of birds, according to the Kenya Wildlife Service. This includes 34 species of European migrants, most spectacularly viewed as they return home in the months of March and May. 60 species of fish have also been identified at the island. However, the beauty of this park lies in the lakes. The park covers an area of about 5 kilometers squared, relatively small but magical, with unforgettable expeditions to would-be visitors. The park, with some active volcanoes, pass out sulfur smell oftentimes. The island reportedly hosts the largest concentration of crocodiles at 12,000. According to the county government of Turkana, the crocodiles breed on the shores of the island crater lakes between the months of April and May. The eggs with baby crocodiles are reportedly buried beneath the sand to escape the predatory attentions of monitor lizards and raptors. Besides the crocodiles, the Central Island National Park offers tourist opportunities to view other wildlife, such as hippos. The island park.
Many people, of course, come here because they want to visit Central Island National Park. The island is beautiful and very unique. The lake is very unique. Fishing, we offer fishing, sports fishing. You have a chance to catch a very big Nile perch, which is of course a dream from every fisherman. What would also be nice is sailing
And apart from Central Island, there's some other activities you can do along the lake. Along the lake, around 11 kilometers, we have Napiket sand dunes. It's good for sports, car sports activities. Also, again, we have our Dutch pyramids along the road towards Kalokol. Our Dutch pyramids is known to be, we've named it as pyramids of Wadaj because it has some natural pyramids. It was due to water erosion.
Irene Mchuma Odim, Magical Sense in the county of Turkana.
What a beautiful sunset in the county of Turkana. Purity Interagui has been passionate about raising poultry, and this has seen her business give her back returns due to the use of an innovative technology. The traditional brooder known as chepkube has changed the face of poultry farming in Laikipia County, with many farmers embracing the innovation. The brooder provides a source of heat for cooking while also providing heat to chicks warm. Our reporter Nduta Mukami has more details.
With the rising price of animal feeds, spending money on charcoal or kerosene means lower profit margins for poultry farmers. Puritin Tarangui recalls borrowing the idea of chepkube brooder from other farmers in West Pokot County and has since mastered the art of making the brooder for her fellow members of the community in Laikipia County.
Ukitaka kuwa na hii jiko chepkube tunaitanga chepkube. Unakuanga na mburangeti, mawe ya mburoko 5, unakuwa na bito, hii mabito mabiti, alafu unakuwa na shagalawe, wheelbarrow 2. Unawekelea, unatengeneza hapo, alafu hapo juu unatengeneza na matope, unaset vile iko. Hapo unaona ni vile iko sasa matope.
The frame of the brooder is made up of wood with metal bars forming the cooking area. Iron sheets are then placed on the upper part of the cooker to help trap the heat and transmit it to the lower section of the brooder. The walls are made of bricks, and mud is used as mortar for the top and to hold the bricks together. The brooder is environmentally friendly as there is minimal smoke inhalation, as the brooder is meant only for keeping the chicks warm. But Ntarangwi says chepkube is not designed as a hatchery.
Huo inasaidia kuku juu tunaweka kuku ya siku moja ya 1 day. Kanakuja kakiwa kandogo, tunaweka hapo chini, alafu kanapata hiyo joto. Tunakuwa haraka.
Ntarangwi says through training on making the brooder, she has been able to train others on the invention while also installing it for her community members. This, she says, has enabled her earn supplementary income for her family.
Sasa mia niko naye, kwa saa hii niko naye. Alafu sasa huwa ninauza ikimaliza miezi 2, ninauza, napata pesa, ninaweka ingine, ninauza. Lakini kwa saa ile nimeweka niko na 150 na ninataka hiyo ikue, sitauza hiyo.
Purity is a beneficiary of the Women Economic Empowerment Climate Smart Agriculture Program that seeks to increase agricultural production through technologies.
But it's not only looking at production systems, it's also looking at the people, at the women, at their capacity to be able to grow and to be able to adopt this program.
Those who are custodians of these assets have also signed MOUs so that this asset is utilized in the right way.
Farmers using the brooders have drastically reduced the cost of buying charcoal or using electric heaters to keep the chicks warm. The initiative is part of a 4-year project by the Food and Agriculture Organization in partnership with UN Women and hand in hand funded by the Korea International Cooperation Agency Kenya at a tune of 690 million shillings. Nduta Mukami for Prime Edition.
29-year-old university graduate Joseph Kenyua has ventured into smart farming using the technology of multi-story vertical bags, garden and hydroponic system, an endeavor that has seen him not only create a source of income for himself, but also for other young people. Lauren Jepchirchir visited him at his farm along Thika Superhighway and filed the following report for tonight, Young and Industrious.
Alongside Thika Road stands the budding JK Smart Farming Services. Here, we meet Joseph Kinyua, a graduate from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. He leads me into the smart farm. Inside, one can think it is a normal kitchen garden. Rather, it is a modern smart farm with propagated seedlings in vertical bags, multi-story gardens and hydroponic system with variety of vegetable seedlings and fruits like cucumber, fennel and Japanese spinach. Apart from the vertical bags, he has also put up a greenhouse with over 200,000 hybrid seedlings propagated in black trays, each holding 200 seedlings. And here, a gear up to get a demonstration on how to water the seedlings. It is in this small vicinity that Joseph took the initiative to create a job for himself, even though it was not a walk in the park.
We started with the 2 greenhouses with 100 trays only, which was donated from one of my professors in JKUAT, or in a club we call Horticulture Student Association.
The main part of his work is propagating hybrid seedlings using cocoa peat medium. This, he says, is a unique way of achieving quality seedlings.
Kikura coconut kuna the outer husk. So hiyo outer husk inakuwa crush. Ikikuwa crush ina produce now the media, which inaitwa cocoa peat ama grow peat. We get the cocoa peat, ikona something inaitwa EC ama electric conductivity, which is very high. So we are going to take it, we treat it. Ikikuwa tayari, tunaweka kwa tray, zinaitwa planting trays. We put a single seedling per cell.
He also propagates the seedlings in different parts of the country depending on the climate of an area.
Tunakuja tunaangalia shamba yako, kila mmea ama every plant do well in a specific area. Kuna cool crop na kuna warm season crop.
He adds that through his hard work, he has been able to employ 2 permanent workers and even interns from various institutions in the country, giving a chance of employment to the youth.
On a temporary basis, we have created over 3,000 jobs to different people. Like for example, recently we were in Kericho doing installation of irrigation system. We need 20 people. I cannot do installation alone.
Among them is Aoko Quinta, a second year at a chief from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology.
Tangu nikuje huku, I've experienced so many things, how to propagate different vegetables and spices, herbs, which has motivated me as an agricultural student.
Even though starting the JK Smart Farming Services was a challenge, Kinyua says he never gave up and now he is able to sell the seedlings countrywide.
Nikianza, nilisema like hapa hii place haikuwa na maji. So maji nilikuwa nachota na wheelbarrow for 6 months. Kama hakuna kitu tunauza hapa, hakuna market. Na hiyo maji nachota 1 kilometer to and from. Namwagia huo wakati tulikuwa na greenhouses 2. So ninachota na mwagia. Wakati mwingine nikapanda hizo begu, nikakosa soko, nikakosa market, kupeleka soko, nikatolewa mbio na watu wenye wanauza huko. But hatuku give up kwa sababu tulikuwa tunajua mahali tunaelekea.
Securing a job in Kenya has proven to be a Herculean task, but for Joseph Kinyua, who dared to venture into smart farming, serves a lesson to the youth to make good use of their talents and time. For Young and Industrious, I'm Lorraine Chepchirchir.
Well, thank you, Lorraine. Look, we've taken you everywhere, literally, from the business world to courts of justice and, of course, to the political arena. The only place we haven't taken you is the sports world, and that's why sports news is coming up next after the break.
Chunga amani ndugu yangu, bila ghasia hakuna hofu, tujenge urafiki na upendo. amani ni nguo ya roho. Mikono yetu iko tayari kushikana, tuje pamoja, tupande mlima wa mazungumzo, tufikie kilele cha suluhisho. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, maneno yetu ni madawa. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, amani isambae kama maua. Heshima ni mti mkubwa unaotoa kivuli cha neema. Tusikilize na kuelewa, kila sauti ina umuhimu wake. Tutenge muda na uvumilivu, tuwe marafiki sio maadui. Kama mbegu zinavyota, mazungumzo yatazaa matunda. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, maneno yetu ni madawa. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, amani isambae kama maua. Tayari kushikana, tuje pamoja, tupande mlima wa mazungumzo, tufikie kilele cha suluhisho. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, maneno yetu ni madawa. Tujadiliane, tusigombane, amani isambae kama maua.
Je, unajua kwamba wizi wa maji ni uhalifu unaoathiri sisi sote? Hata hivyo, wateja wengi wa maji husalia kimya bila kufahamu madhara yake.
Kama utaki kuniambia, ndio hiyo basi.
Hii hoteli nimeamua kuiuza.
Ananunua mpaka sisi.
Gharama zote zile zimehusika na hiyo chakula utalipa wewe. Jana agona screen protector.
Na nini ingine, lumbia kila kitu kwa sababu nimesikia.
Wasreb tunaadhimisha miaka 20 ya udhibiti wa huduma za maji.
Sports News is brought to you by Mozart Bet.
Thank you for keeping it KBC Prime Edition. My name is Karen Kibet. Let's now delve into sports matters. The national under-23 soccer team Emerging Stars opened their campaign at this year's COSAFA Cup on a high note, beating defending champions Zambia 2-0 in a match played at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in South Africa. Austin Odhiambo netted the first goal for the Kenyan youngsters in the 9th minute through a penalty kick. Then Patrick Otieno made it 2 10 minutes later. The Kenyan team will play Comoros in their next match on Sunday before facing Zimbabwe on Tuesday in their last group match. In another match played today, Zimbabwe defeated Comoros 1-0 in their opener. Group winners and the best second team will progress to the semi-finals. Kenya is making their second COSAFA appearance after participating in the 2013 edition.
They are rather interesting year for the Zambians up to this point. Losing out 1-0 to Tanzania in the qualifiers. They lost to the qualifiers. Poland was a foul ball. Oh! Have stuck it in at the Kenyans. Again, lovely work out wide on the right side, and arriving there in the nick of time from the blind side is Patrick Otieno. And Kenya giving us a shock to the system nice and early in this match. Inside 20 minutes.
Former world javelin champion Julius Yego bagged gold on the last day of the 23rd Africa Senior Athletics Championships in Douala, Cameroon, a record 5th title in his career, although that was not enough to enable him qualify for next month's Paris Olympics in France. Yego managed a distance of 80.24 meters to retain his title ahead of Namdi Chinecherem of Nigeria and Mustafa Mahmoud of Egypt, who settled for silver and bronze respectively.
Kenya failed to retain the overall title it won 2 years ago after finishing second in the 6-day Africa Championship behind South Africa with 19 medals, 5 gold, 7 silver and 7 bronze, despite Julius Yego winning gold on the last day of the event in Cameroon. Brian Komen also ensured Kenya retained its 1500-meter title, while the other 3 gold medals were won by Alex Kipngetich and Sarah Morai in the 800 meters and Gladys Komboka in the 10,000 meters. Back home, World Cross-Country Junior Champion Ishmael Kipkurui is among the athletes who punched their tickets for World Under-20 Athletics Championship as the 2-day national trials commenced today at the Nyayo National Stadium. Kipkurui led from gun to tape in the 5,000 meters final as he booked his ticket alongside Andrew Kipto, who finished second. Siriko Cross-Country Junior Champion Mercy Chepkemoi and Marion Jepngetich also qualified in the 3,000 meters, finishing first and second respectively. Collins Koech, Josephat Kipkurui, Sheila Jebet and Miriam Kibet qualified in 1,500 meters men and women finals respectively.
Na train 18. Saizi naenda kustiksa na speed work ya uwanja. Hiyo ndo shida tupangu saizi.
Leo na feel poa. Naenda kuongeza sana mazoezi zaidi ya hii yenye nimeenda leo. Hasa nataka niongeze kwa juu kabisa. Ndio next ni kukuja na join na kina Timothy na kina Rhino. Hasa ndio nataka kuenda sasa kupiga mazoezi zaidi hapo.
Diana Chepkemoi and Judy Chepkoech finished first and second respectively to secure their tickets in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. The trials will culminate tomorrow, after which Athletics Kenya will name a team which will represent the country at the 20th World Under-20 Athletics Championship, set for Lima, Peru this year from 27th to 30th August. Kenya finished fourth in the 2022 edition in Cali, Colombia, with 3 gold, 3 silver and 4 bronze medals.
Thank you, Barkley, for that report. Moving on, East African side Uganda were impressive against South Sudan as they secured a 48-21 win on the 3rd day of the Africa Kabaddi Championship ongoing at the Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi. Uganda, who were dominant in the entire match, led early on in the game and never looked back as they stunned their opponents in the one-sided encounter. In the other match played today, Zanzibar were also at their very best as they thrashed Malawi 66-42. In the opening 2 matches by hosts Kenya, they defeated Rwanda 65-35 and also beat Zanzibar 63-38. A total of 9 countries who are competing in the continental event at Kasarani, including Malawi, DRC, Uganda, Zambia and Burundi.
The defensive. Not yet. Look at that. Oh no. A fight. A fight.
Reri won a gold medal for Kenya in the MC2 category during the final round of the individual pursuit of the 2024 CAC Paracycling African Championships in Cairo, Egypt. Egyptian Noureddin Ramadan won the silver in that male category. Samuel Mwangi won a silver in the MC4 category after he was beaten to the gold by Egyptian Abdulrahman Salah. Morocco's Mohamed Boch won the bronze. Gabriel Mbemba Ambuko won a bronze in the MC5 category as Islam Abu Zaid led his compatriot Walid Amer to a top 2 podium sweep. The CAC Paracycling African Championship is a competition organized by the International Cycling Union, UCI, and adapted for cyclists with various disabilities who are classified according to their functional abilities. Volleyball team Malkia Strikers to the FIVB Challenger Cup will be named this Saturday prior to their departure to the Philippines, where they are determined to make a mark. The provincial team of 19 who are drawn from various clubs have been training rigorously at Kasarani before they are reduced to 16 in preparation for the knockout tournament, where they are determined to at least progress to the semi-finals. Malkia Strikers were eliminated in the first stage in the previous edition by Colombia, who beat them 3-1 in France. They will start their quest this year against Puerto Rico on Thursday next week in the quarterfinals at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium in Manila before battling it out with Belgium and Sweden respectively. Czechia will face Argentina on Friday in another exciting match before hosts Philippines take on Vietnam. The winners will progress to the semi-finals on Saturday next week ahead of the finals on Sunday, where the winner will qualify for the 2025 FIVB Women's Volleyball Nations League. High-and-I star Ott Tanak has continued his fine run of FIA World Rally Championship form, winning today's shakedown at Orlen 80th Rally Poland in his I-20 End Rally 1. The Estonian driver starts his 7th round of the 2024 series off. Defending champions Italy and Switzerland will start the round of 16 on Saturday before hosts Germany take on Denmark on the same day following the completion of the group phase of the Euro 2024 last night. On Sunday, Georgia will have a daunting task against favourite Spain in the late kickoff, which will take place after the game between Slovakia and England. This is how the last 16 teams made it up from the group stages. Take a look.
All their matches against Croatia, Albania and Italy, who qualified having won one match against Albania and drew against Croatia. England and Denmark directly went through to the last 16 after finishing top of all group matches. Group D saw the other two poll matches against Netherlands and Poland to finish top of the group above France, who made it after drawing against Netherlands and Poland. Group E had the most amazing mathematics in cons. Portugal and Turkey managed 2 wins and a loss each to qualify directly from Group F with 6 points each. With 4 more teams needed, the best third-place finishers scrambled for those 4 available slots, and after their rankings, it was Netherlands, Georgia, Slovakia and Slovenia that got the nod ahead of Hungary and an unlucky Croatia, who conceded last minute against Italy to say goodbye to the tournament.
Thank you, Buckley, for that report. Now, finally, Venezuela advanced to the quarterfinals of the Copa America after beating Mexico 1-0 earlier today morning as they ended Jamaica's campaign in the tournament. Mexico still has a chance to secure a quarterfinal place if they can win their last group match against Ecuador, who beat Jamaica 3-1 in the other pool match.
Mexico entered their second match at Copa America 2024 with a chance to advance to the quarterfinals, but instead Venezuela pulled off a 1-0 upset to advance to the quarterfinals. The decisive moment came when Solomon Rondon, a seasoned striker playing in Mexico, successfully converted a penalty, granting Venezuela a total of 6 points from 2 matches and positioning them at the forefront of Group B. In the second game, Ecuador kept their hopes of qualifying for the quarterfinals alive with a 3-1 win over Jamaica in Las Vegas. Ecuador went ahead in the 13th minute via a Jamaica own goal when Piero Hiancapie's cross from the left was deflected off Casey Palmer's shin into the net. The South Americans doubled the lead from a Kendry Paez penalty kick just before the interval after a handball by Gregor Lay. Jamaica halved the deficit shortly after halftime, scoring their first ever Copa America goal before Alan Minda killed off the contest in the 91st minute with a goal from a classic counter-attack. Mexico and Ecuador will meet in a do-or-die match in Arizona on Sunday, with the final Group B spot in the knockout stage on the line. Mexico must win that match to avoid elimination.
And that report brings us to the end of the sports news tonight. I'll see you tomorrow on the Easy Friday Bulletin with more sports news. My name is Karen Kibet. Do have yourself a peaceful night. Right after this short break, my colleague O'Brien Kimani will be back with more. Don't go too far. Good night.
Sports News was brought to you by Mozart Bet.
You can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
Coming to 10:30. You've been with us for the last 1.5 hours. Thank you very much indeed for watching Prime Edition with me, O'Brien Kimani. Our sign language interpreter has been Brian Moraru. On behalf of the entire production, Thank you very much for being with us. Have yourself a good night.
The Mozart Bet Grand Finale is finally here. Kenya Police will take on KCBFC this Saturday, the 29th from 2 p.m. for a chance to represent Kenya in the CAF Confederation Cup. The game will be preceded by third-place playoff between AFC Leopards and Kariobangi Sharks at 11 a.m. Both matches will be played at the Ulinzi Sports Complex.